Hello, everyone, and welcome to another edition of Taking Over. I am, of course, OLED Ed Fries, joined, as always, by the natural Astrid Bizarro. Astrid, you've had another fun-filled wrestling weekend. How was Battle Riot?
It was a riot. No, I'm kidding. No, it was pretty fun. More fun than I thought it was gonna be. So, um, definitely thanking MLW for their hospitality because it was pretty fun to be at that show. Watched a lot of people that I hadn't seen like wrestle live before, so that was pretty awesome. And some familiar faces too, like Dijak that I got to see, and Corbin that I hadn't seen in a while. So, yeah,
You
overall
mean
pretty
you
fun.
hadn't seen him in a while, like 4 days?
Hey, a long while before that. Um, no, this
No, I
was
know.
he wrestled more this time around than he did like 2 weeks ago. So I'm counting this one.
Hello,
No, pretty
Bobby. Thank
fun.
you for joining us.
Yeah, I love the fact that there was a lot of independent wrestlers that I could like see that we could watch in the future too, and people that I knew because I see them in posters online. So I was like, oh, I know that face and I know that one, and I got to see Mr. Lyra Valkyria in real life for the first time too. So that's another one.
I I love how you've taken to my term for LJ Clary to be Mr. Lyra Valkyria, like I used to do for Kaiser when I used to call him Mr. Tiffany Stratton.
Yeah. So yes, I'm Mr.
Melball is
Lyra
here.
Valkyria. Yeah.
I love it. My Tuesday thing has started to become Mel and I will message back and forth about things that happened on Noah's Magic Monday things. I think it's called Magic Monday or Monday Magic.
Yeah.
Because like names that we're covering here on these shows
Mm-hmm.
are starting to pop up across the border over
Yeah.
in Noah. And
Yeah. It's also
so
about
Mel
Izzy
will message.
James. Mm-hmm.
Yes, the exact who I got today. Yeah, and then
Yeah.
we were talking about Sophia Savan was also there, and I remember seeing her on
Mm.
Twitter that she had posted that she was going to start working over there. So yes, it is always great to have Mel Ball here. And if you want to know more about Noah and Pro Wrestling Noah in and of itself, Mel Ball covers that every week, a couple times a week here on this channel. You can go ahead and watch those videos. She does fantastic work with those. Your people keep showing up and doing some wild things.
Trust me, I get the videos and the voice notes of everything that's happening in the shows, so I feel like I'm watching them too in a
Oh yeah.
way.
But
Yeah.
we're here to talk about Wrestling Open. We've been here before, sort of. So we're leaving the wonderful confines of Cranston, Rhode Island. We're heading to White Eagle in Worcester, Massachusetts. This is where we run every Thursday forever, as Drew will say. That is his tagline for Wrestling Open. Every Thursday forever. These shows are about 2 hours long on a Thursday night. So it's a great night to go out and get some wrestling in. You can, again, find them at Wrestling Open on Twitter and Beyond Wrestling on YouTube. The live shows are really quickly put up by an IWTV, as well as being broadcast there live every week. So again, if you haven't caught the drift from me and Astrid yet, IWTV, if you're into the whole independent wrestling thing, is a worthwhile investment for $11 a month.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
Astrid actually pointed me to this card because she kept seeing women's matches that she wanted to see. We have two of them on this show, including returning La Pescadita, I think is how you say her nickname,
Yes.
Lili Ruiz. We had obviously Shannon LeVangie here, Gabby Forza, and somebody I feel like I know the name, but I don't think we've covered yet, Amira.
Mm-hmm.
So I think those are the things that drew your eyes to this show. Am I right?
Yeah. Yeah. I got some women's matches today.
And then, of course, for me, I got my Haas match. I got Tyree Taylor taking on Ox Adams. And then I got Bear Bronson taking on Dustin Waller. So, like, there's a little bit for everybody here on this show. But we start with our opening contest. Before we get to our opening contest, I know you didn't listen to a ton of commentary as you were trying to make sure that you paid attention to work and getting things done there. Tell us, because you knew where this gentleman was. He was getting drunk in Orlando. Rich Palladino was not here. And we were joined by the wonderful injured Lauren St. James on her crutch, doing ring announcing from the outside of the ring.
Yeah, I thought it was funny when I heard that part. I recorded to send it to you and I forgot to send it to you. I like the fact that they said that Rich Palladino was in Orlando getting drunk in Universal. It's like, Close enough. I mean, he was in Kissimmee, so it's close enough to Universal. Um, yeah, I think it was fun. As another tidbit about MLW, I know you had told me about it, but you never know if the person's actually gonna be there. So when I went in and I found my seat in the kind of close to the tunnel, so I could see everybody coming out, and I see that person at ringside. I'm like, I know that face. I just can't remember the name right now. And you told me, and I was like, oh, now I get to hear him in person for the first time. So that was pretty awesome, like full circle for me now after listening to him on IWTV a couple of times now.
Yeah. Yeah, Rich Palladino was not here. He is normally our ring announcer for Wrestling Open, but we had our pre-show ring announcer, I don't want to say backup because she's not really a backup, but she is the in case Rich isn't here, training wrestler Lauren St. James, and she does a fantastic job throughout the night. I adore her commentary style, and again, I also really kind of just love the accent. To be honest, it's mostly the accent, but I enjoy her. Again, she's there, but you don't notice her because she just does her thing and goes away. Much like Rich. He doesn't try to be a part of the show. He just does the entrances, calls who won, and then sits his bum back down and takes his wonderful Twitter picture. And like I said, I love Rich. I think Rich is at the top of my list as far as we're talking ring announcers. I think Rich is right up there with any of them in any of the promotions, with the Justin Roberts, with Lillian Garcia and all of them currently in WWE. I mean, like right now working, I think he's about as good as they get, and poor Lauren just can't live up to that.
And I like the fact that on Thursday, I believe if I'm mistaken, Battle Riot is going to be live on the MLW YouTube channel. So for those of you that haven't seen it, you get to see the whole show I watched and Rich Palladino announcing as well. So pretty cool.
I feel like I saw the whole show in clips from Asher that she was putting through almost every entrant of the Battle Riot.
Yeah, we had some moments and we had some surprises and some, I don't know what to call them, to be honest.
I was going to say, I didn't have Festus on my bingo card for 2026.
No, I didn't either. And seeing Riddle in very little clothing, that was not something I wanted to see. So that's one of the few downfalls of this whole card.
Maybe cover Battle Riot this week on the channel. Just because you were there. So it's easier for you to redo because you've already watched the show, so you just have to catch up. And obviously, I'd have to watch the show, but it is available readily, I believe, on their YouTube channel.
Yeah, it'll be on Thursday. I don't know what time, if they put a time to it, but I know it's on Thursday, I believe. Let me see. But I know Thursday on the channel.
If only you could exchange Riddle in short shorts for Finn Balor in short shorts, huh, Mel? That would be her
better idea. Okay, so here we go. They put it 8 p.m. Eastern on the MLW YouTube channel for free, so it'll be there.
So maybe that's what we cover next week. But we're gonna get Ashton's opinion of our opening match here with, again, the Fancy Man, Fancy Ryan Clancy, taking on returning superstar and a new name to me, Gabriel Skye.
Yeah,
generic indie wrestler body type though. Like this is like create a wrestler WWE 2K26 like generic. Don't get me wrong. I think Gabriel wrestled really cool, and I like the way he wrestled them. Again, I'll get more into this. But when he came out, the immediate image when I looked at him was like, oh my god, he is prototypical long-haired indie wrestler.
I was gonna say, is it indie wrestler or just like a regular call from the video game? Which one is it? Something like that?
Little bit of both. Like he's just generic dude number 7.
I mean, sort of. This one I enjoyed it. I am liking more rank. Yeah, I'm loving Clancy the more I see him every single time. He's definitely growing on me. I think my favorite part about this whole match though was the ending sequence, because they do a part that they have a kind of like pin reversals, like a back and forth with each other. That was fun to watch. But the one that really caught my attention is when at one point Ryan kicks Gabriel towards the ropes, and the ropes hit Gabriel around his throat. And right after that, it's when, as he bounces back off the ropes, is when Ryan kicks him, and that's how he wins. But the win at the same time, I know this is it's going to be a short match because there's a lot of happening in the card in a 2-hour show. But the win itself, it just felt like it came out of nowhere, because I was not expecting the kick of a sudden to get that win at the end for me. That was the only thing that kind of caught me off guard of this whole match. But I really enjoyed a lot that ending sequence there before the match ended.
Yeah, and we also, the one thing we got to remember with Wrestling Open, most of these matches have about a 10-minute time limit for the majority of them. Your main events typically get a little bit longer, but most of your other contests on this card will only get a 10-minute time limit. And the other thing I love about this is they do what a lot of promotions don't do. If there's an actual time limit on the match, halfway through we get the announcement. Like we heard Lauren St. James throughout the entire card being like, 5 minutes have elapsed, 5 minutes remaining in this match. And I really enjoy that because it gives you the sense of urgency. Like it gives to the wrestlers that there's a sense of urgency, and it gives to everybody else that there's a sense of urgency. Like the crowd understands, oh, we're getting into this, we're getting close to the time limit. Let's get ready to go. But yeah, 8 minutes, 48 seconds. Ryan Clancy defeats Gabriel Skye. I love Gabriel Skye here. Again, I know I said looks like generic indie guy, looks like generic, creator wrestler, but he gets in the ring and he's all talent. He's really good. He's really fun. He's really fast. And these two have a really good mesh of styles because Gabriel Skye looks like he's going to be a bit of a high flyer power guy. And Ryan Clancy, as we've seen, and we continue to talk about him more and more. And again, Ryan Clancy was my runner-up for Wrestler of the Year because he had my independent match of the year in 2025. That match against Marcus Mathers for the IWTV Championship was sensational. Ryan Clancy can do no wrong. Ryan Clancy is just utterly fantastic in the ring, and he can do everything, which I think is really interesting and really fun to do. He works so well with everybody because there's no style he can't do. If you're going to brawl with him, he'll brawl with you. If you're going to go high flying, he can kind of do that. If he needs to go hold for hold, like he was really well with Gabriel Skye here. There was a lot of catch can, hold for hold wrestling. And that worked in this match. Oh, look at this. We got a friend of the channel here, Pario Magazine, Jamie Apps. Love when Jamie Apps, by the way, brand new interview with JD Griffey of MPX Wrestling as they're getting ready for the Texas Rumble. So make sure you go ahead and check out all the clips and stuff from that interview with Pario Magazine because I was doing a lot of research for JD Griffey at one point. So it was fun to see that interview going down. So make sure you catch Jamie on all of that and everything else he does with Pario Magazine and on the Pario Magazine Twitch channel. Yes, generic look can be fixed. Agreed. Like I said, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with Gabriel Skye. I was just surprised when he came out and it was like, oh, he's kind of generic. But again, like Jamie says, it can all be fixed. A look can be changed if you've got the skills down. And he absolutely had the skills. And again, it's hard to have a bad match with Ryan Clancy, but I look forward to seeing him again. He's my one to watch, the guy I need to see more of that I didn't know. Because again, a lot of these people I already know, and a lot of these people I've already seen in countless matches. So the only real person on this card that I can have as a one to watch is unfortunately Gabriel Skye, because with the exception of Amira, everybody else on this I've seen before. Hello, Brett. Thank you, the Emperor, as he calls himself. We have hit YouTube partnership, so you can now send in on the YouTube side. You can send in super chats to go ahead and give us a little bit of extra if you want to, and make me say silly things as long as they're not offensive. I'll be more than happy to say all of the things that come through on the super chats. I have taken it upon myself that I will be reading the super chats so that Ashley doesn't have to get herself in any trouble. So I will do the super chats. But yes, if you do want to send a super chat, go ahead and do that. It'll be on the YouTube. We have a goal of 5 just as a generic goal for all of our shows. But again, yes, absolutely, JB. Famous last words. They're indeed famous last words. But, somebody's got to take the heat. And, of course, that will always be me here. I am more than happy to take the heat. There is no royalty in this chat other than me. I think the host of Marvel Talk will definitely disagree with that one. She is our empress, and we do bow down to our empress. Anyways, Gabriel Skye does get defeated by Fancy Ryan Clancy, 8 minutes, 48 seconds. Moving on to our first women's match of the night. And again, all of the matches felt like they kind of fit this 7 to 8 minute window for all of the matches that had that time limit, which again is really great because it means all the matches really have that same feel, because nothing feels like it's too short, but nothing feels like it's too long either with these 10-minute time limits. And again, we can do longer matches, and I think all of these matches could have been, a lot of these matches could have been better with 5 more minutes. But I don't feel like I had any match where I left that match going, damn, this match was shortchanged somehow in some way with a short match. But Astrid, you are one of the women's wrestling experts on this channel. We do indeed have Princess Melball in the chat as well, Brett. So never forget that. I don't disagree with Melball. But Shannon LeVangie takes on Lili Ruiz. Talk about this one, Astrid. What you got?
I like this one because I was able to see a little bit more Lili. I know we had seen her before, but it's always kind of like a little bit of a short like showcase. So I'm glad it was somebody like Shannon that we have seen and we're familiar with, who I feel like I haven't seen her have a bad match so far. So I'm glad that it happened with Lili of all people. One of my favorite parts though is when at one point she's mocking Lili with her dance moves that she does. It's just weird to see Shannon doing that kind of dance scene. So it was funny to see that part there. But I like the back and forth they have here because there's so many points that Lili's able to show off her power during this match, especially with somebody like Shannon here. And there was a one point she does a spine buster to Shannon that looked very great the way she delivered it. So I love that part of it. Shannon also did a springboard cutter that was beautiful to watch as well. That's another part. I like my favorite part here when to able to show off not only Shannon's speed and her agility, but also Lili's power is that at one point Shannon does a crossbody from the top rope and from the ropes, and then Lili reverses it and picks up Shannon instead. But I like the sequence when you can show up both people at the same time, and that really shows up both of them and what really they stand for. But at the end, we still get Shannon with a splash before she gets the win, so it's no surprise that Shannon wins. But I like the fact that it was a great showcase for both of them.
Yeah, it's about an 8-minute match, and again, I think everybody gets what they need out of this. I like watching Lili Ruiz. By the way, small fact about Lili Ruiz that they didn't mention on commentary, but I feel like needs to get mentioned more often than it does. Trained by Mustafa Ali in that Chicago area where he was working over at a training school up there. So yeah, very well trained, obviously, and it shows in this match. Like, I think she does a really good job. I love her character. I love her vibe. I love everything. And Shannon is the perfect foil for a Lili Ruiz who has that like dancey, fun vibe, because Shannon will vibe with you if that's what you've got going on. And we haven't had the opportunity, you and I, to be able to cover heel Shannon LeVangie. But it exists, and it is a thing of beauty. And I can't wait till they bring it out again when Paris if Paris comes back and they choose to go back to the Brats being heels, I think that's going to be the next showcase for Shannon. Because at this point, there's really nothing more Shannon can do other than just continue to win championships and just continue to be a star in these divisions. And again, she's one of the brightest stars in the women's division on the Northeast scene right now. She just won the Chaotic Panoptic Championship. Finally, that terrible reign of Calvin Dumont has finally been ended. So I'm very happy for that. And now we're going to be able to have her put on a show over there. The match was fantastic. Like, it's hard for me to call a Shannon LeVangie match with any type of like non-biased opinions, because when I made my return to independent wrestling, the first wrestler I got to watch was Shannon LeVangie. And she's just become one of my favorites. At one point at one of the Chaotic shows, she literally dived directly over my right shoulder at one point. So it's like, she is one of my favorites. I will never say that she's had a bad match. She had a fantastic match here. Gets a big win that I was kind of hoping Lili would get. When I went into this, I was kind of hoping Lili would get the big win. But again, they love to push Shannon here. Shannon's very popular here. It makes perfect sense that Shannon gets the win. But throughout this card, it seemed like a lot of the guys that they bring in versus a lot of guys that they have here, like as like local guys, seem to always get the win. And the people who are traveling in and out seem to always take the L. And again, I get that from a storytelling perspective, is that you've got to go with the people who are going to be here week in and week out. or here more often than not. So like a Lili Ruiz who works and lives out of Chicago isn't going to be doing a Northeast run every week. So you can't, constantly having her win matches. But it just felt like on this one card, it just felt like the people who kept getting the wins, if it was like local guy versus somebody from someplace else, was always the local person. And I say guy is a generic full term. It's, Shannon, Gabby, all of them included in that. But I thought this was a really fun match, and I really enjoyed it. We then get our video package. And again, this is one of the things I love about Wrestling Open is, yes, it's a 2-hour show. But to give us like a couple minutes break from just match, they have these short video packages throughout the show. And here's one where we get one talking about Christian Darling and all the terrible things he's been up to recently. The pushing down of Rich Palladino, how dare you? Beating up Manny Aries and Manny getting the win, and then Christian getting the win back, all that kind of fun stuff. And we get, the laydown where he tells Brother Greatness, who was on commentary for the majority of the show, with the exception of this match, that next time Sammy's here, I'm taking Sammy down. And of course, that's what we get. We get top 5 Sammy Diaz with Brother Greatness included, taking on primetime Christian Darling. I love Sammy Diaz. Sammy Diaz is so good. He's so fluid and so crisp with everything he does. He's not a big guy. He's not a strong guy. There's nothing about him that when you look at him, there's nothing that jumps off the page except he's got that it factor. The look and the feel of this guy when he walks out. He feels like he carries himself like a big deal. And when you walk out and you feel like you carry yourself like a big deal, you become the big deal that you feel like you are. I think he works fantastic. I think his skills in the ring help give him that aura, help give him that ability to have that bit of an edge, of a cockiness, of an X factor. But God, Christian Darling is just such a fucking great heel. He's so douchey. And if I remember correctly, I believe that in Wrestling Open, especially in Cranston, I think Christian Darling was paired in a tag team with Jose Zamora before Jose's unfortunate shoulder injury, which I think is why they've kind of pivoted to him with him in Worcester here with this. I love this match. I thought this match was great until the very end where you have the DQ. The DQ finish sucks. I hate DQ finishes, but it makes sense because this isn't just a one-off match. This is a long-told story with a video package. So a DQ here with Taylor Jordan making the interference, ruining the match. And by the way, these 3 guys are all set for next week's show. So just so that, I'm sorry, Darling and Jordan are set for next week's show. And Manny Aries is set for next Thursday's show, or this Thursday's show. So I love this match. I thought this was great. Sammy Diaz is so good in the ring that it's just hard to keep up with him when you're anybody else. But I think Darling did a very good job. I liked everything I saw from Darling here. I thought he was really good. But at the end of the day, Sammy Diaz is just that damn good.
I think the only reason why the DQ bothered me though is because we had 2 DQ finishes in one show. So it's like if you're gonna do it here, then don't do one in the other one, or vice versa. I would have picked which one and done something different for the other one instead of just having 2 exact DQ finishes on the same show like that. Especially when it's such a short show with 2 hours. If it was a longer show and we had more of a break in between, I would kind of get it. But I think my favorite part about this one is one point Sammy's bouncing up the second rope and Christian catches him on his shoulders. And the way it's kind of similar to what happened with Shannon and Lili here is like the fact that they're able to show off the speed and the power from one to the other one in such a quick sequence like that. I think that was really great to watch. It's like, yes, the part that bothered me was the DQ because we get, they say Taylor Jordan interfering at the end and gets Sammy the DQ win. And that's the only thing that bothered me because I like the pacing of the match. I like how it was going. I was enjoying myself, and then it was over. And that's the only thing that I didn't like about the match. The fact that not that it needed more time, but I wish I would have seen more because I was enjoying it so much as it was. I just didn't want it to end here. That's the only thing. But I think my only negative about it was the DQ and the finish, though.
Yeah, I mean, the DQ finishes suck, and the DQ finishes are what they are, and it kind of blows to have two of them in one night. But like, I feel like it made a ton of sense here, and I feel like it makes a lot of sense later on too. Like, the funny part is like both of the DQ finishes made perfect sense, which is the hardest part about like not liking them or having an issue with them, is that they both really made a lot of sense. Like, the DQ finish makes sense here because you're pushing this story with Christian Darling will do anything and everything to get the upper hand. He doesn't necessarily care about winning. He just wants to get the upper hand and get things done. So we'll see where this goes in the future. But I'm very excited to continue to watch this because, again, Wrestling Open is something that I try to catch up on when I have the time. I try to catch up on all of these shows as often as I can. So, again, stories like this are another reason for me to go back and watch another show. Oh, boy. And then we get to Ed's least favorite jobber. And no, I don't mean enhancement talent. I mean jobber. I consider this guy to be a jobber because I dislike him to the ends of the earth. 23 Hazard. Oh, 23 Hazard. Like, I'm sorry, but this guy is just awful. Like, the worst part is he's good. Like, the worst part is he's good at the stuff he needs to do. Like, the in-ring stuff, Hazard is actually kind of good at it, which pisses me off even more. We get the video package talking about all the things he done, including throwing little Pedro around, which is still, like, I have a hard time not laughing at it because commentary, like, even on this clip, I don't know, did you watch the clip of this in between matches with Hazard?
I did watch it, but I can't remember exactly everything. I'll be honest, the part about when 23 Hazard starts talking, I really forwarded because I didn't want to hear his voice out. That's the only thing.
So
I really did.
Before that, in a video package, they have him, and he's been attacking one of the mainstays and one of the elder statesmen of the brand in Pedro Donez. And Pedro's son got involved at one of the last big shows, and Hazard grabbed him by like the shirt and like lifts him up and pulls him over and then just like kind of chucks him to the ground. And the kid falls down, and they've been treating it like the kid was like assaulted and injured. It just makes me chuckle a little bit because it's like he was really gentle-ish with him. Like, he threw him down, but like the guy's dad is directly in front of us. Like, we know this is all okay and that nothing bad's going to happen to this child. And he cuts a promo. It's not a good promo. And again, Ashley doesn't know anything about the promo because she fast forwarded through it because it's 23 Hazard and he's awful. And then out comes wrestling's #1 handyman. And Astrid, as somebody who didn't live through the Attitude Era, I need to have your opinion on wrestlers with a job for a gimmick. Talk to us about Jake Gray, the handyman. What'd you think?
Oh my god. I laughed when I saw his outfit, if you want to call it, because it wasn't gear. It was his outfit, I guess. Yes, weaponized the children. I won't forget that one. But yeah, it's just funny seeing him with his whole outfit, like he's about to go to work, but he's actually getting to work his other job, which is wrestling. But it's just funny to see it overall. It just reminds me so much, like you said, of those like older characters. So you haven't seen that in quite a while. What is like, I can't even recall who the last person was that had kind of like a occupation like that. Does Kiana James count? And they do, because Kiana doesn't dress up like that, but she's still, what's it call it? An accountant, I guess. I don't know what to call her anymore. I didn't talk
Just
about it if you
flash
have the
that.
graphic up at least.
No, just flash that for no reason at all whatsoever. I don't know why I would flash that. And there's no reason why I need to flash that.
Sure. I'll be talking Asian about it when I'm not there, though.
I mean,
uh-oh. Let's see.
Here or not.
I don't know if it's you or me.
I think it was me because I had my
Okay, there you go.
But anyway.
Okay.
But yes, anyways, I will never be talking about ish about you. I adore you. It's not like I talked ish about you on Marvel Talk this week. Cough, cough, judge.
Uh-oh. I'm going to have to watch it now.
Go ahead. I just talked about how we had to cover Wrestling Open because Asher can't cover a 3-hour wrestling show anymore.
Hey, I wasn't in town. That's why.
Sure, that's why we're covering. But no, this is a match.
Yeah.
I will say this is the only match that felt like it had too much time.
Yeah.
It went 8 minutes and 11 seconds, and I feel like that was 5 minutes too much. But no, I think Jake Gray has a lot of skill. He's a product of the Bio Wrestling School, which is the Beyond Wrestling Institute of Professional Wrestling. And I really enjoyed everything he had here. He's young. He's obviously green. Like, let's not beat around the bush here. Jake Gray is not a great professional wrestler. He's good. He's young. He's learning. And he's getting in there with guys like 23 Hazard. And again, I'll give him shit all day, all long. His gimmick is awful. He looks like a guy ripped literally from a time machine out of the early 2000s. Like, he's a white rapper, like, ghetto Eminem style, like, fanboy thug from the early 2000s. Like, that's who this man is. But the one thing you can't say about him is that he's a bad wrestler, because he is pretty damn good at the wrestling. And I think Hazard does a really good job of putting over these younger talents, even if they don't always, like, he'll back and forth with whether or not he wins or he loses with some of these talents. But every time I watch him in the ring with these younger talents, they always have a really good match because he's a really good. He reminds me of a way more annoying Natalya Neidhart, not Natty Neidhart, but Natalya. You know what I'm talking about with that Natalya gimmick, where all she's there is to just like help the younger talent get over and things like that. That's the kind of feeling I get with her. And description just gave me PTSD. Hold on. Let me see. Before we leave here, just let me see. 23 Hazard. Can I pull up a picture? Yes, I can. Hold on.
Oh, yeah.
Here you go, Mel. Hold on. Let me pull up our boy Haz and let him catch up. And his tagline, I'm going to catch a body. Yep. This is Hazard. And I do love this fan of his, and I can't believe there is a fan, but that's it. DASSIT. Like, he's literally pulled out of the 90s and the 2000s. Like, he's literally pulled out of that time frame. Because that's like a Jeff Jarrett, Double J kind of like introduction thing. No, he's not Ash Ketchum. He's not nearly Ash Ketchum. He's worse than Ash Ketchum. But he's got to catch a body. Like his Twitter handle is literally catch a body has. Like, just so awful.
Oh, no.
But we've talked far too long about 23 Hazard for my liking. I hate everything about that. I think one of these times we need to do a watch along on one of these shows. We need to have Mel on so that she can just watch this. Like, watch him cut a promo, watch him wrestle a match, just cause. We move on to our...
I was going to say, but I love Mel. I don't want to put her through that torture, but I get what you mean, too.
I mean, I love Mel, too. But I also love to put my friends through shit. Let's talk later about Soda Pop. Uh-oh. I don't think I want to know what this is.
Dang it. Now I have the song in my mind.
All right. Anyways, let's talk about our one tag team match on the card. It's weird to be on an indie show and talk about one tag team match on the entire card. Mm-hmm. Because this is typically what every indie promotion does to get like 15 people on a card, is they'll have like 5 tag matches on the show.
Yeah. We
had like 7 or 8 matches on this card and one tag team match. And it's our Wrestling Open Tag Team Champions, the Stetson Ranch. This time, we're seeing Bobby Casale and Danny Miles. Nice to see Danny Miles here again. You've seen him a couple times. We've covered Danny a few times, haven't we?
I think so. Yeah.
You like little Mr. Danny Miles. Him taking on, him and Bobby Casale taking on Big Business this week being brought up by Brad Hollister and TJ Crawford. We're not seeing Shot Through the Heart. We're not seeing Bobby's favorite professional wrestler, Love Doug. But we're seeing Big Bacon, Brad Hollister, and TJ Crawford. What can we say? TJ Crawford is just so good. So good. And Brad is really fun, and I love watching Brad wrestle. But again, just like last week with Limitless Wrestling, this is an 8-minute and 15-minute match, and I still want to go here and say I think Danny Miles wrestled about 6 minutes of this match. Like, Bobby Casale, I was so excited when I saw this. Yes, his nickname is Big Bacon, Brad Hollister. Yes. But I saw this match on the card, and I'm like, oh, Bobby Casale and Danny Miles are tagging. This is going to be great. We're going to really get a good look at Bobby. And he wrestles like 2 minutes of this tag match.
And that's another reason why I picked it. Yeah. That's another reason why I picked it, because I knew you wanted to see more from him. And I went, this is perfect. So I get to see my women's matches. You get to see a little bit more of him. And then the match happens, and I felt almost, I don't want to call it that, but you know when you have that moment, the match didn't have a hot tag, but you know those moments when the wrestler is there for way too much of the match, and at one point you're expecting the hot tag to happen. That's what this match should have been when he came in, and it wasn't. But I know he's a heel, so I understand that part of it. But it just bothered me that I didn't get to see much of him. It's like I was hoping this would be the match I could see more, and that it didn't happen.
Yeah, it sucks that we didn't get to see him. And for the chatter in YouTube and Twitch who keep saying I skipped them, I flashed your comment up, but we've talked about this to you on all of our shows, and we're ignoring you. Sorry. Not sorry. Anyways, this was a fun tag match. Like, again, I love the big business. I love the Stetson Ranch. I love that they don't have enough members of this, like, willing to do this whole, like, ranch gimmick. So, like, every time we cover the Stetson Ranch, they're always just bringing in random people to be part of it. Like, they have, like, the prospect, Bobby Casale here. But when we last covered the Stetson Ranch, we had them with Charles Mason. Remember we had that big tag match, and they had Charles Mason as their fourth. So, and then we get the post-match here where we go ahead and we get the Brad trying to get them another tag team opportunity because they've now beat the Stetson Ranch. So they should have earned a tag team opportunity. And they have to put up, Big Business will no longer challenge for the tag team championships. And it's very vague here whether they're never going to challenge for the tag team titles or just while the Stetson Ranch have the tag titles.
Yeah, same thing I was thinking. And I think it was also the thing that really caught my attention that was the most interesting was as this is happening, Brad is the one talking. And from the angle we get, the moment he says those words, TJ turns around like, what the heck? You didn't talk to me about this. And his facial expression is just so priceless. The way he just goes, what? Why would you do that? And the same thing I thought that you said is in my thought process was, is it just forever or is it just while, they're champions? So I thought that was interesting too, which way they're going to take it. But what really caught my attention was TJ's facial expression as Brad is talking here.
And it's so great because TJ's a part of this whole promo without being part of the promo. He doesn't say a word. He doesn't do anything. But his facial's behind Brad.
Yep.
And it's great because this has been a long-running thing. Like Big Business, as Brad said in the promo, he's like, this group started out as a thing for me, to protect me, to keep my Wrestling Open Championship. But it's evolved beyond that now. These guys are bigger now. They're better now. This needs to be about all of us now. It's not just about me anymore. And I love the evolution. Like, we're going to get TJ Crawford turning, or we're going to get Love Doug turning on Brad when the entire time Brad's been the asshole. Brad's been the bad guy. And now we're going to have Brad be the sympathetic babyface to a turn. And I love it. I can't wait for when they eventually get this. And I love how Steven Stetson has this great line at the end where he's like, by the way, next week, we're going to have one of us take on whichever of you is the leader of Big Business. And the reason why that's an important deal is because Brad Hollister is the leader of Big Business. But when he walked away for a while, he gave that reins to TJ, and TJ's been running the group since. And Brad's taken a back seat since he's come back. But now it's going to be who's the leader? Is it Brad Hollister? Is it TJ Crawford? I love this little individual storytelling. And again, so many people think independent wrestling can't tell stories because you never know who's on what card from what to what. But you have a generic group of people who are mostly on most of your shows or here often enough that you can tell a story. Even if it's not week to week, even if they're here every other week or every 3 weeks, you can do enough storytelling to cover those gaps and make sure you have it. And I love this. It's so great. Name we haven't seen in a while, Quest for Jules. Jules is fantastic. He works at Backbreaker Gaming, if I remember correctly. Jules, correct me if I'm wrong, but I know you have your own channel, Quest for Jules, obviously, where you do your own gaming content, but I believe it's also affiliated with Backbreaker, so go ahead and give yourself a little shout out over there as we go and take that. But yes, we do all hail Queen Astrid. All hail the natural, Queen Astrid, Princess Melball, Empress Peggy, all of the things. Thank you, STG. I greatly appreciate it. But yes, we're going to move on to our second women's match of the night. Oh, I am correct for both. Woohoo! It's been a hot minute since you've been active. Okay. I felt like I haven't seen your name pop up in my notifications a bit, but I wasn't sure if that was a me thing or a Twitch thing. So good to know it wasn't just, I did remember some of those things. Thank you very much, Jules. Yes, if you do have your gaming content and he is doing it and hasn't played a video game since 2005. I was literally playing WWE 2K last night. Like I was literally playing it last night. But we're here to talk about our homie, the Nomi, Gabby Forza, taking on Amira. Astrid, tell me all about it.
Oh, damn, I'm trying to do the notes at the same time. I'm glad we could see it because, like you said, Amira is one of those that I always see her name and her face in a poster somewhere in a graphic somehow. And I don't think I ever got to see her wrestle before. I know with Gabby at this point we're very familiar with her, but with Amira, I wasn't, like, at least wrestling wise. I've seen clips here and there, but I haven't seen like a full length match. What I liked about this too is the fact that these are just two powerhouses going at it, is the best way I can describe it. And it's like I love that they're able to really have a great back and forth here with each other in this sort of way. And they show off so much of each other, like the power, the agility, the speed they have as well. And overall, I really enjoyed it. This is one of those that, again, I wish I could have had a little bit more time because at the end we just get a spear from Gabby and then she gets the win. So it almost felt like I could have had gotten a little bit more time out of it, if anything, because it was going so well. The pacing was great too. So it's one of those, like, if they added more time, I would have been fine with that too, because I would have mind seeing a little bit more from these two. And it just felt like they were just scratching the surface when this started, and I really enjoyed that part of it. But yeah, overall, really enjoyed that match, and I'm glad I got to watch Amira finally wrestle at least a full length match.
Yeah, I was very impressed with Amira. I thought she was really good here. Mama Fries was very impressed with the size of Gabby Forza's thighs. The thick thighs of Gabby Forza was what
thick
was
thighs save lives.
They always do. So much better. Anyways, we've talked endlessly about Gabby. Like, literally, I feel like she's on. There are so many times we've done this show where I didn't even realize she's on the card. We're like, oh, Gabby Forza's on this show. Of course she is. She's fucking everywhere. Yes, they are indeed Mama Fries approved. But no, I love Gabby Forza. She's fantastic. She's now my number one why are you not signed women's wrestler. She's now hit the top of that list for me. Slightly over both Brittany Brooks and Becca, because I think those three right there are kind of like that, every time I see one of them, the other one, they pop over the other one. Like, we just watched Becca wrestle last week. Becca was at the top of that list last week. But now we watched Gabby this week, so now it's Gabby. And if I watch a match with Brittany Brooks later on this week, like I will when I watch the next Dreamwave show, which happens this week, obviously she'll be back on the top of the list when Brittany Brooks is on that show. they're just so good. And this match was fantastic. However, I will say I am very upset at Beyond Wrestling and the Wrestling Open people that we had to suffer through 8 minutes and 11 seconds of 23 Hazard and only have 7.5 minutes of Gabby Forza. That's a shame, and it's awful, and I hate it. Why did Hazard have more time than Gabby Forza? Justice for Gabby. But this match is great. This match is great. I would like to see. Here's the fun thing. They could have done this exact same card on a full-length show, and the match is going to be 3.5 hours. And a lot of these matches that are 7 or 8 minutes are probably 10 to 15 minutes, and we get exactly what we want. But then Ashley doesn't have the 2-hour show that makes it nice and easy for her to watch. So like it's this weird give and take where it's like Wrestling Open is so great because it lets us put so many talents front and center in giving you a glimpse of who they are and being like, if you want to see more of them, find them, here they are. But at the same time, you're never going to get enough of them to really get a gauge of exactly who they are and what they do. Because of the fact that there just isn't enough time in a 2-hour show because he wants to keep these shows moving. He wants these shows to be in, be out, be 2 hours. And so, like I said, all of these non-main event matches, and there are a dual main event tonight, all of these non-main event matches have a 10-minute time limit. And that's why we get the 7.5 minutes for Gabby Forza. It's to give them a little bit of wiggle room in case they need to go longer. If you tell them they have 7.5, if they go 8, that's fine. So they don't go over the 10. Moving on, Gabby gets to wrestle with her husband because Bear Bronson comes out next, taking on Do-Rag Dustin Waller, which means he's a heel. We talked about before, when Dustin Waller comes out with the do-rag on, it means he's working heel. And I love it. I love heel Dustin Waller. I think he's fantastic. One half of Miracle Generation, one of the greatest unsigned tag teams in the industry today. And now that Busta in the Brain, Alex Price, and Jordan Oliver are signed, it's a matter of time before Miracle Generation gets signed. Because they're that next team behind Busta in the Brain as that great Northeast tag team that needs to be signed to somebody. This is a great match. There's so much fun letting Dustin Waller just have fun in a wrestling match. Like, this match goes 17 minutes, and it feels a bit long. But I don't feel like it's long in a bad way. Like, I enjoyed all of the 17 minutes because the first 5 to 10 minutes of this match are fun. Like, Dustin's trying to chop Bear, and Bear's just standing there, walking forward as he gets chopped. And I'm looking at Mama Fries, and I'm like, do you know how hard Bear Bronson has to be able to just stand there and take? Because Dustin Waller's not taking it easy. Like, these are good, solid chops. Like, you're hearing good sound on these. So, like, Bear's just absorbing these. And at the end of the match, Mama Fries goes, why is his chest so red? And like, did you not see the whole match, Mama? Like, come on, Mama Fries. But no, I love these two guys. Bear gets the win, as he should. New member of the system, kicking out the garbage in the system. No more JDC. No more Moose. Thank God, no more Moose. There's only one turd left in that punch bowl now that it seems like what's her name's contract isn't being renewed.
Alicia.
Yes. Lish's contract sounds like it might not get renewed. But no, Bear is just fantastic. I love everything he does. He's so good in this match. But again, this match is all about Dustin. Like, Bear goes over, but this whole match is to get over Dustin Waller being a badass, being tough, being funny. Everything that Dustin Waller needed. He showed everything you'll want to see in Dustin Waller to be able to be like, he's a star. I can put a championship on this guy. Because I think he might be coming out of this. They announced the number 1 contenders tournament for the Wrestling Open Championship. I think he might win that because I think that's what this match is to do, is to set up a guy like Dustin Waller to win this. Because at the end of this, Bear Bronson lifts him up and gives him the pat on the back and says, he's fucking great. And then walks out and leaves Dustin to the crowd. The crowd was a little rude to Dustin, I'll say. Calling him a pussy was a bit uncalled for. But this is a drunken Boston crowd, so you get what you get. But I thought that was a little unfair to him. He was trying to run away, but then again, most of us would if we had to wrestle Bear Bronson. So, Ashley, what you got? What you think of this match?
Yeah, I like the fun vibes of this match more than anything because I love how it starts off with Dustin running away and then he tries to come back and Bear catches him and literally throws him in the middle of the ring. And if you notice, like, if you think about it this way, I think, like, about half of the match, it's, like, a lot of just Bear taking it on to Dustin at first. And then Dustin does have a couple of moments that he's able to, like, at least kick him in the knees and try to take him down and keep him low at some points. But even that is not enough to keep Bear down. So I like how more than anything, they just have a fun vibe about this whole match. And it's just them having fun and just enjoying the match and enjoying the reaction from the crowd and the whole thing. And I like when they get to have fun like this. It's not often when you get to have a match like this that feels kind of like freeing, if that makes sense, because it doesn't feel so serious, but it's also fun for not only the wrestlers but for the audience as well. And I enjoyed it overall. And I, like I said, it's like I love anytime we get to see Bear wrestle too, especially now as an official TNA superstar. So very happy for him to be a part of that too. Very cool moment to watch somebody go from being signed to not knowing where to go and feeling kind of lost and in the limbo there to finding their way and being signed again. So it's pretty great when you get to see those kind of moments more than anything for the wrestlers here. But yeah, I'm really glad that Beer wins this one. Like you said, it's fun seeing them one after the other one wrestle too, the couple, and they look so cute together. So I love every time we get to see either one or both on the cards too. So just overall, great vibes all around.
And for those wondering, who Ryan Clancy lost to in the male wrestler, independent wrestler of the year, it is indeed Bear Bronson. He had 6 months essentially on the independent scene after being released from his Ring of Honor contract. And he took the world by storm in those 6 months. He became a deathmatch king. And while I don't love death matches, I always respect the guys who can do it and can do it at a high level constantly. And the thing I love about Bear is that Bear isn't just death matches. Like, we were heavily critical about him and Cruel a couple weeks ago at Heavy Lies the Crown because we don't like death matches and that we didn't love that match. But the fun thing is about Bear is that Bear can do it all. Bear can wrestle any match. He can wrestle essentially a comedy match with a little bit of substance in it like he did here. And he can do the death match with Cruel. All of that can be Bear Bronson. And that's why he's so good. That's why he needed to get signed. And that's why TNA is so lucky to have him. And remember, if somebody's signed at TNA, that means they're available for NXT. WWE can steal him away. WWE can just steal him away and bring him in where he belongs to NXT and WWE. And then we get our main event of the evening. DQ finish, which sucks. 11 minutes, 4 seconds. Tyree Taylor taking on Ox Adams. Two big, heavy behemoths taking on each other. Mama Fries looked at Ox Adams and goes, "Good God, what is that?" He is 7 foot tall, 350 pounds. And yes, as Ashford's saying, you can't teach that. I mean, here's the thing. Big boy wrestlers, big men, hoss wrestlers like these two. You have guys like Tyree and Bear who can work pretty much anybody. These are guys who, and again, I know you've seen a lot less of Tyree than I have, but I've been privileged to see a lot of Tyree Taylor, whether it be on independent wrestling TV, whether it be in person, because I've seen a lot of his work at Chaotic. He can work with just about anybody in any style, whether it's man, whether it's woman, whether it's big guy, whether it's small guy. Tyree Taylor can pretty much work anybody. I don't know as much about Ox, and I feel like he works way better with the little guys than the big guys. Because I didn't love this match. I loved what they were going for. I loved the ideas they had, and I love the way they worked BRG, who's hurt, into this. I don't love BRG, but I love the way they worked him into this. Like I said, some big guys can work big guys, some big guys can't. I still want to see more Ox Adams because even with everything I've said about this, I thought it was a really good match. It wasn't my match of the night. That was obviously Bear versus Dustin. But by leaps and bounds, it's Bear versus Dustin. But I really enjoyed everything in this match, but I was a bit disappointed that these two hosses couldn't. They were just little stumbling blocks. Like they were trying to get Ox to the outside, and it looks like they couldn't quite get it going. But God, seeing Tyree Taylor do a second rope moonsault. Like Tyree Taylor's 300 plus pounds, and he did a second rope moonsault. Like it's one thing to do it from the top. You get a little more bounce, you get a little more give on those top ropes, and you get a little bit more wiggle room for messing up. Boy did it from the second rope and did it like a fucking pro. Like, good God, is he good? I have a lot of love for Tyree Taylor. I really adore everything he does. I love the big, heavy chain that he comes to the ring with. I love the work of Prolific in other promotions. We've not talked about Prolific. We've not had the opportunity to see them as a tag team and things like that yet. But he is part of a group in a tag team called the Prolific. And it's really fun and interesting, and I enjoy everything they do. God, Ox Adams he's so young, and he reminds me. I think you'll really get this vibe, and I think he's a less good. I don't want to say a Wish.com because I don't think he is, but he's a less good version of Brody Lee. Not Brody Lee, the AEW guy now, not Brody Lee as the Mr. Brody Lee. I'm trying to make sure. I have the right name, right?
Brody King, then.
Brody King, yes. I'm sorry, not Brody Lee, Brody King.
Okay, yeah. I guess I see what you mean.
Big muscles, lots of tattoos, big, tall, kind of chunk, like Brody King, like abolish ice, fuck ice, Brody King, that guy. Ox reminds me a lot of him when I watch him work and I look at him. Like I get that's like he's a younger version of a Brody King, not a Brody Lee. I apologize. Yeah, not that being compared to Brody Lee is a bad thing. It's just it's not the comparison I was trying to go with.
Yeah, I can see where you're coming from too. Yeah, this is one of those like for me, as people say, the big meaty men slapping me, and not always my type of matches. I am more like a fast-paced kind of person. But it was still a fine match. It was, and I like the fact that this is one of the reasons why I also wanted to watch this one because I know you said you want to see more of Ox, and then I saw him on the card and I said, okay, this is the moment we can hopefully see a little bit more of him. No, I enjoyed both of them. I feel like it was a good like introduction for me to like see them like this and get at least kind of like a glimpse of what it's like because obviously, like I said, these are like shorter matches to what we're usually like used to. So I feel like it was a good glimpse of what they're really like. I get what they were going for, and I still want to see more from them because I want to see what else they can do aside from this. And like you said, thinking of like the opposite, it was like they're a big guy versus big guy. I would like to see both of them going against somebody smaller than them to see how different it is compared to this match, for example. Like I said, the only part that bothered me is like I know they make sense, but it was 2 DQ finishes in one show. I feel like if anything, I would have tried to pick the DQ to happen in a different way, perhaps than it happened originally. Here was again with somebody interfering as well, and which is why Tyree ends up winning by DQ. But overall, I like how it ended and everything. I wish I would have tried maybe something a little bit different, even if it was a DQ still, but maybe a little bit different from the other match at least. But overall, I enjoyed it a lot, and good thing that I can now I have other names in my mind that I want to keep watching up from this.
Yeah, I mean, obviously there's a lot to be had here, and like I said, I didn't I didn't hate what I saw, but I also didn't love what I saw, if that makes any sense. Like I said, it's just there's so much room for improvement, but at the same time, I was impressed and happy with what it is. And like I said, not everybody shine. Like certain wrestlers work really great with, like, take a guy like Kane. Not the person. The person Kane sucks and is awful. But the professional wrestler in Kane, he works so well with the smaller guys, but didn't always work so great with the bigger, taller ones. So when you had him with like a Rey Mysterio, these matches are out of the park, fantastic. But you put him up against The Undertaker in a one-on-one match, and those matches are forgettable because he doesn't work that style very well. Yeah. I think that's kind of what we got here. I don't know if Ox Adams is ready for that Haas style where it's Haas versus Haas. But he can work with those smaller guys like we saw in the Limitless Rumble this past week. I think he did a lot of really fun and interesting stuff there with some smaller people. Mm-hmm. So like I said, it's something that'll happen over the course of time because Ox Adams has only been doing this for 3 years. Oh, wow. I did not know that. He's trained by Afa. Mm-hmm. The late great Afa and Sika. Afa and Afa Jr. trained him. Wow. Yeah, good for him. Mm-hmm. Something I didn't know. Good for that. Apparently, we didn't. So here's the thing. There was a thing that we were trying to do that fell through. We had some plans in place of a show that we were going to do. We were going to work with a promotion to go ahead and cover it. Unfortunately, plans fell through. We didn't get to do that. So unfortunately, we're not going to be able to do the show that we had planned on doing next week, which was going to be the Texas Rumble. So I think based on what me and Ashford said earlier and knowing the show is going to be available for free on YouTube and Ashford won't have to really watch it all that much, we're going to do MLW. We're going to do MLW. There's some problematic people on this show. There's a handful of them. But you know what? Fuck it. We're going to do MLW. We're going to do Battle Riot. We're gonna steal this from Bobby and Papa Smokes. I don't know if they planned on doing it, but we're gonna steal it from them. So next week, Battle Riot, Ed and Ashton will cover MLW, because Ashton's there live, so we can go ahead and do that, and we can talk about who won and how great it is that the person who won. Yep. Because Ashton and I are both very excited about that. Mm-hmm. So yeah, Battle Riot next week. Ed and Ashton talking about a wrestling show that Ashton was at live. We've done so many of these where it's like Ed reliving his live wrestling experience. Problematic will be the word of the day next Tuesday. Yeah. There's a handful of them on there. Riddles on this show. Double A's on this show. I don't know if there's that many more. I know there's a couple.
I'm trying to think of people that I saw. I mean, does PK count? I don't know if she counts at this point.
Wait, who? Oh, Perk?
Priscilla.
Oh. Yes and no. Problematic for very different reasons than the other two we talked about.
Yeah. But the only thing I don't know what matches they're going to show, if it's just going to be the Battle Riot aspect or if it's going to be the whole show, so we'll have to see what they show. But if not, I'll go give tidbits on what I know. So.
Yeah, we can talk about the whole show regardless, one way or the other. Mm-hmm. I think it's going to be the entire card. Yeah, at least all the things that were on the pay-per-view. Like, there'll obviously be dark matches that they have that you talked about. But, yeah.
One, because I was able to see Scarlett wrestle. Mm-hmm. That's one that I wanted to see, she's Lexis King's girlfriend, Carolina Cruz. I was hoping to see her wrestle, but technically her opponent really took over, so I really didn't get to see her wrestle. There's a couple of, like I said, local people here that I've been wanting to see, and I finally had the opportunity to watch here and there. I love the fact that there's one of the guys, I hadn't heard about him before that I can recall. I think what I told you about it, Diego Hill, that he got a really quiet reaction to begin the show, but he really started growing on the audience. So by the time he came out for the Battle Royale, people started cheering more often for him. So seeing things like that happen live in the show, they're pretty awesome to watch.
Yeah. And of course, if you want to follow all of the happenings for Astrid, you can go ahead and no, this isn't Marvel Talk. Got to get the Taking Over banner out. You find her here, Astrid. Where are all those places?
You can find me. My Twitter is Astrid Pizarro, and my Instagram and Threads Astrid Pizarro 20. We'll probably wait until the Battle Riot does come out live, so I can put some kind of videos around the time that it's airing, because I don't want to spoil too much before the show airs. But yeah, and then I think I have it here if I remember correctly. Do I? I don't. I thought I had the one with the QR code. Or is it on the other side? I always forget which one.
I don't know.
But anyway, the link is in my bio if you want to purchase the book that I have it on. I had a QR code with the link in there, and this is my part talking about Stephanie Vaquer.
Yes, this wonderful work that you did with Cam Hawkins of Seahawk fame. Yeah. Trying to see if I can pull up the. No, I can't find it on your. Good God, your link tree is long, honey. So many things on here.
Yeah,
I can't even be bothered to go through all of those.
No. I thought I had it there, but it's okay. I'll add it for next time.
For me, you can find me at all the usual places down here, all this silly crap. But more importantly, things that we need to talk about this week. First, this Saturday, I will indeed be with Stuart. Yeah, I'm very excited for this. We've been doing this in the works for a while. 3 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. British time, 4 p.m. Peggy's time, and 1 o'clock for our Canadian friends in Edmonton. We're gonna be doing a whole bunch of. It's gonna be like an interview. It's gonna be a bit of a wrestling game. We're playing WWF WrestleMania, the arcade game. This is a game I played in my childhood. Literally, that arcade machine is the machine of my childhood. So I'm very excited to play this. This is going to be a whole bunch of fun. He's apparently got a whole bunch of things planned, so I'm a bit worried, but it's going to be a fun time talking with Stuart, who I've been watching. 12 p.m. for the... Okay, so you're a little further Canadian than the other Canadian friends, but that's fine. I can be rude to you this week because it is Super Bowl week this week. Go Patriots. Fuck STG and his Seahawks. Patriots are going to win this Super Bowl.
It's the Benito Bowl. Let's go.
I am so happy that he won all those awards the other night. Oh, it was so nice. And now he gets to play the Super Bowl. Yeah. So it'll either be the least watched or the most watched halftime show in Super Bowl history, depending on how this breaks. So I'll be interested to see what happens. Of course, we just had Marvel Talk the other day on Sunday, so you can go ahead and catch me, Andre, helping out with Peggy, who is of course the host, the empress of our local establishment, the host of Marvel Talk. You can go ahead and see what we thought about Wonder Man.
Let's say if you enjoy the performance, it is a reflection of my culture. So
yeah,
come on, sir.
It shall be interesting to see how many pieces of the culture that he's talked about doing he's actually able to do during this show. But yeah, no, this is going to be a whole bunch of fun. So yeah, it's a big week for me. We got Marvel Talk that just aired on Sunday. We got the Super Bowl this Sunday. We got me with Stuart on Saturday, and I'm going to be absolutely ready for this Patriots game on that. So it's going to be a whole bunch of fun. I will try to make it for POV, but I don't think I'm going to make it. So I'm going to have to film something for the boys this Sunday as I did last week. Stuart Ya's Twitch page is literally just, I believe, Stuart it is right up here, twitch.tv Stuart right here in the picture. But yeah, I will drop it here in the chat as I type. So twitch.tv/Stuart. Yeah, that should get you where you need to go, Mr. STG. That right there. But yeah, that's gonna be a lot of fun. I'm very excited for that this week. So yeah, that'll be a good time. So, and of course, all the other things for our local establishment, you've seen us scrolling across the bottom all night. It's, of course, right here below us in the little box there as well. Ole Podcast on all your favorite social medias, including mostly on X. We do. I know other people take care of the Instagram and things like that. I only have access to the X, so I leave it there. And of course, our YouTube channel, which, like we said earlier in the show, it is at the first level of monetization. We are a YouTube partner, so you can go ahead and leave us a super chat there. And it is at our local establishment, so you can find all of our fantastic shows, including Mel's Noah reviews, including Ring Respect Radio, including now the ever so often return. I don't know exactly how often they're going to be, but I know they're going to be covering multitude of episodes in one, or a plethora of episodes all in one. With the Mother Tucking Post Show, Jose and Auntie are back on the Mother Tucking Post Show, so make sure you obviously go and check that out. But yeah, thank you all for joining us. We greatly appreciate it. We'll be back next week. Oh, hold on. Serious question. All right, go ahead. Oh, Shawn Michaels, no doubt. Shawn Michaels. I'm a 90s kid who grew up loving Shawn Michaels, which will be part of the interview with Stuart, because me and Stuart are both Shawn Michaels people, which is why there's a Bret Hart on that on that thing. But again, we'll talk more about that as we get to the game and play the game. So I know Heat Razor was better. That doesn't mean anything. How dare you? Don't make me mute you on that channel, sir. Anyways, thank you for checking it out. We'll be here next week. Goodbye. I am in misery.